Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirklees Guitar School. In today's acoustic guitar lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play a strummer's version of Hotel California with a capo on the 2nd fret. If you head to the first link in the description, you can download a chord sheet that accompanies this lesson completely for free. That'll take you to my website, and you can download this along with over 100 other free tabs with accompanying lessons. It's a great resource. I'd recommend that you print this out and be working along with me with the slides here on the video as well. If you like the way that I teach and you'd like to see a little bit more of me, I'd urge you to check out the second link in the description. That takes you to the Kirklees Guitar School Academy, which is my learning platform, where every lesson I do here on YouTube, you get access to additional resources and lessons that bolt onto the lessons here on YouTube, including a technical focus lesson, full guided playthrough, and every course and every other piece of paid material I've ever made. You can head over there and try with a 14-day free trial. I'd urge you to go check it out. It's a good time over there. Right, so what are we up against here? Now, Hotel California, I'll put these on the screen first for you while I'm waffling. These are the chords that we're using for this demonstration. Now, with 2 D chords there. Ignore that, I'll fix that in post. So, Hotel California is multiple guitar tracks all layered on top of each other, and there's a couple of different ways that you can play it. The angle that I've taken for this is if you're just sat at home strumming and you've learnt half a dozen chords, you can strum along to the song and do like a bit more of a rhythm guitarist's approach. Now for the 1,000 subscriber special, I did a deep dive on the solo. I'll put a link to that somewhere, whether it's in the show notes down below or I'll put a card up. If you want to learn how to play the solo, by all means head over there. It's a really, really fun one to learn. Probably in the not too distant future, I'm going to do a 3rd video on Hotel California, which combines a bit of rhythm and a bit of lead. And if I was the only guitarist on a gig, I'll show you how I kind of do that with the bar chords, and then we've got every bass that's covered. But this is appropriate for people sat at home, strumming away, and they've got a capo. Okay? So, those are the chords that we're using. Ignore that last D chord on the end of the slide over here. That's just a typo on my part. It's just the same as this D chord over here. Right, so we're going to start with the intro part for the song. Now, all we're going to do as strummers is just play each of these chords and count to 4. 2, 3, 4, E7, 2, 3, 4, G, 3, 4, and D. We're just going to carry on through this pattern. F major 7 to C, D minor, and then E7. So each of these last for what we call a semi-brief. They last for 4 beats each. And can you see this funny looking bracket up here? And then bottom right hand corner of the screen there's those funny like double brackets. What this means is those are called repeat markers. And we're going to play all 8 bars you've got on screen twice. Now on the original recording they're using a capo on the 7th fret to do do all that kind of stuff. We don't have time to switch the capo around. So if those of you that are in the academy, I've shown you a picked version to kind of get around that as a bolt on for this lesson in the technical focus. So what I'd like you to do, strum each chord and hold it for 4 beats in the intro. Then we're going to head into the verse, which looks like this. Now, this song is pretty much one of 2 parts. You can see this verse here. If you compare the progression here to the progression here, it's more or less the same. A minor, E7, G, A minor, E7, G. 8-bar phrase. But all we're going to do is start strumming from this point. Now, don't run away. This strumming pattern looks quite complex, but once we break it down, it'll make a lot more sense. But as we come here to the verse, this is on a dark desert highway. That's where the verse starts, okay? Notice how there's another repeat marker here and at the bottom. So we're going to repeat this verse twice before we graduate to the chorus. We'll come back here in a second. Let's have a look at this strumming pattern. So what I've gone for is a... It's like a sort of faster country pattern, almost a bit of a train beat-esque. Lots of downs with the occasional up using quavers, which is these with the singular tail. This first note's a quaver, and then when it's holding hands twice, those are called semiquavers. Now all I want you to do, let's just focus on the first 3 notes here. This little thing that looks like a staple under the A minor, that's telling you that you want to do a downstroke. So then the second note is a downstroke, and then this V indicates that we're going to do an up stroke. So these 3 notes, you've got down, down, up. Now you've got a quaver and 2 semiquavers, which is kind of a fast one, and then 2 even faster ones. So you've got 1, 1 and a 2 and a. We'll talk about these in a second, but let's just get this. Down, down, up. On an A minor chord. So you've got a big downstroke, and then 2 quick, a quick down and an up. Now the eagle-eyed among you will notice that this just repeats 3 more times within the bar. We'd count this: 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Now what you can do as well, if you're looking for extra brownie points, on the first stroke of each of these, the 1, the 2, the 3 and the 4, you could do what I call a bass note, where you can sort of hit the lower 2 or 3 strings of the chord. So with this A minor chord, it'd be the E, the A and the A, the D and the G strings. And you sort of create almost like a little bit of a power chord, and then 2 broad strokes for the semiquavers. That'll give you a bit more kind of, sounds a little bit more kind of country. Or you can do the full stroke if you feel like that's beyond you. It doesn't matter, as long as you're playing 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Pause the video, spend a lot of time here because we're playing this for pretty much the whole song. You need to get comfy with it. And I want you to be counting those downbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this continues through the verse, so this is the top line of the verse, and we're going to change chord every 4 beats. So you've got A, E7 to G, and this continues D, F major 7, Now the whole thing looks like that, so that occupies pretty much the whole of your first page after the intro. Now why am I using F major 7? Well, I'm using a bit of artistic license there, to be honest. Whenever I'm playing acoustic guitar and I'm strumming, I'll tend to play F major 7 instead of the bar chord, and the reason that I do that is A, it's more accessible, and B, when you're playing like chords within a similar key to it, C, G, D, A minor, E minor, it sounds really lovely to have that sort of high E string sparkling on the top. I find it's more accessible. If you want to put the bar chord in and you're able to, by all means please do, but I think especially for acoustic guitar, whenever I get the chance to play F major 7, even though it's a lot easier than playing the F bar chord, I will always put F major 7 in, because I can recycle it to use with lessons with other students who are maybe not as far down the rabbit hole as you are if you can do that bar chord. But also, I feel like stylistically it really fits. So that's just me. That's my little bit of artistic license for this song. If you don't like it, put the regular bar chord on and nobody's going to tell you off. So we've tackled the verse. Now the intro and the verse are pretty much the same. It's just one's a lot more spaced out than the other. Both of these two are going to come back later in the song. But then we're going to graduate to the chorus. Now I've had to split the chorus among 2 slides because it bridges the gap between the first and the second page of the PDF. Now there's no repeat markers here, and it starts on F major 7. Now don't let that catch you out. I've been mistaken before going to A minor by mistake. It starts on F major 7 and the lyric is Welcome to the Hotel California here. And the strumming pattern stays the same throughout. So you're going F to C, E7. As we go to the next line in the top of page 2, this A minor, you'll hear the band go. You'll hear them do that line. Bum, 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 bum. F, plenty of room at the Hotel California. D minor, any time of year. You can find it here. So all in all, that chorus is quite... where are we going next? Right, we're back into a verse. We'll tackle that in a second. So all in all, I find the chorus, although it's got the most memorable lyrics and the most memorable hook melodically, chords-wise, I find it a lot easier to remember the chords for the verse because it sounds... I don't know whether it's just I've heard the song so much that when I think of it, I think of that A minor chord at the bottom. Now, only recently I found out what Hotel California was about. I've listened to this song for years, and not really. I've been more interested. I like guitar riffs. I don't listen to lyrics. It doesn't do as much for me. The guitar solo has always kind of been top of the table for me with this song. But it were only recently listening to the song and doing a little bit of research that I figured out what they were actually singing about. If you know what the song's about, let me know down below in the comments. You might enlighten some of us, and I might even learn a little bit more about it. So, we've tackled all 3 elements of the song. We've looked at the intro, which is like a spaced out verse. We've looked at the verse, which introduces the strumming pattern. And then we've done the chorus, which I've had to split among 2 slides, which, although not very memorable harmonically, is a vital part of the song. So then, as we sort of carry on through that second page, we've got another verse which is repeated twice. So this is verse 2. I think the lyric is "Her mind is Tiffany twisted." I think is what that starts with. There's nothing new here, nothing to write home about. We've done this before, and we go into another chorus, which is nothing. There's nothing different to the chorus that we've just dissected, apart from the very last bar. Can you see? So this is at the very bottom of page 2 if you're following at home on the PDF. Now, we're just not going to strum the strumming pattern, and we're going to just hit a singular stroke of that E7. If I play that whole chorus, and I'm going to watch me play it on screen, or if you feel like it, strum along at home. We're starting on F major 7. We're starting up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, C, E7, A minor, F, C, bottom line, D minor, 2, 3, 4, bring your alibis, I think is the lyric there, right? We're then going to go into the breakdown. Now the breakdown is identical to the intro, but that's mirrors on the ceiling, pink champagne on ice, we are all just prisoners here of our own device. Say that, don't listen to lyrics, actually, it's coming to me quite quickly, is this. But can you see how this is identical to the intro? Now, if you've taken part in the academy, the technical focus in the academy, you could substitute this with... and it'll sound lovely over the top of it. Whatever you want to do in that scenario, it's entirely up to you. But if you're just following the strummer's version on the free version of the website, I just want you to strum the first beat of each bar, and this is identical to the intro for the song. We're then going to go into a singular verse. So this will be verse 5, because it's a bleeding long song, isn't it? I forgot until I did the playthrough how long this is. It's about 6.5 minutes, something like that. This verse 5, we don't have to repeat it. And can you see that E7's just a little bit different on the end? That we don't we break out of the strumming pattern. Can you see on that E7 we've got down, down, up, down, down, up, and then we're going to go down, up, down. Can you see how it's like inverted? Now, what that is, let me see. Yeah, okay. So can you see how it's like inverted? We've got E7, I'm looking very last bar. Where are we? I've lost me where. Ah, right, okay. Apologies. Right, so what we're doing there basically is we're going down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Now, if you listen to the record, you'll hear that the drummer is surrounded by drums. These drums that sit like on a rack at sort of chest level are called toms. Tom-tom drums. And you'll hear them go boom, boom, boom at the end of that bar. And I want you to try and tie that rhythm. 1 and a 2 and a 1 E A is how you'd count that. 3 E A. And then you'll hear it. You'll hear him do that. And then we go into the solo. So the solo is basically strumming through a verse 5 times. Now, I always lose count of this. I always just wait because the record fades out, doesn't it? But you let them go. Ba, 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 da, 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 ba, 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 ba. So nothing to write home about there, and that takes you to the end of the transcription. Now, the transcription gradually fades out. It gradually peters out. A really good exercise I get students to do within the room is... the record fades out, and I try and get the students to play the progression but gradually lighten up their picking to see if they can match it fading out. If you have a look at the playthrough on the Academy, you'll see me doing it. That's not me fading it out in post-production, that's me gradually letting off, and I'm sort of trying to match my volume of my guitar with the record. It's a really good dynamic exercise if anybody's struggling for that. So hopefully that gives you a really solid foundation rhythmically to work from, to then either pursue some bar chords. I mean, a follow-up lesson I'm going to do to this in probably a couple of months' time. Instead of doing the strumming, we'd go... That's how I play the bar chords for this, and then sort of weave all the lead stuff out. If you'd like to see that, let me know down in the comments below. So make sure you go to the website and check all that out, and I will see you next week for another acoustic guitar lesson. Thank you so much for watching.